All right, what is going on, everybody? Thank you very much for tuning in to the post-game show here. Got a lot to talk about. Just let me get us live on all our platforms here real quick, and then we'll get the show started. I appreciate everybody tuning in. 111-102, the final score. The Celtics over the Los Angeles Lakers. Interesting game. You know, some ups, some downs, some points of the game where you're encouraged, other points of the game where you're discouraged. Get towards the end, and we got kind of ourselves a ball game here. And the big news that we're all going to kind of walk away from this game is the LeBron James. I mean, there's a legitimate question mark. Looks like they took a point off, so 111-101 the final score. I'll make that adjustment on here real quick. Lakers end up losing the game to the Boston Celtics, and the question mark that's going to be there is going to be on LeBron James. It's going to be on Bron, whether he's healthy or not, whether this is an injury he's going to be out for a long period of time, whether he's not. So we're going to get into all of it. Appreciate you guys hanging out. If you guys got thoughts on the game, comments on the game, feel free to throw it in, and I'll do my best to try to get some of the comments as we go here. We'll get a chance to hear from JJ Redick. We'll get a chance to hear from Luca. We'll see if LeBron ends up talking, but we know this is the first game of a 4-game road trip for the Lakers. Some really tough ones coming up, but a lot of people are looking forward to this game. I was as well, and a lot of details that will come from this game as well. 8-game winning streak snapped for the Lakers, with Celtics beating them 111-101 the final. Okay, so let's kind of get started here. I want to first just kind of hit on the Bron piece of this, and then we'll get into the actual game. Let's see what happens here. You know, I don't know what to tell everybody, but I don't need to tell everyone just how important LeBron James is to the Los Angeles Lakers. Everybody understands that. I don't need to tell everybody how critical a piece he's been over this stretch for the Lakers to put him up in that number 2 spot in the Western Conference. So we know, obviously, how important, how key he is from that perspective as well. This one worries me a little bit. And I'll be honest with everybody. I think, you know, it's interesting during the broadcast. I don't think they noticed why Lakers were taking the timeout. And Bron was signaling over to the sidelines like, hey, you guys got to take me out of the game. And I waited. I'm like, all right, let them go to timeout. And then at least when they go to timeout, we'll take a quick look and see if Bron is still on the sidelines or if he's not. He wasn't. And then eventually the game got started again. Bron's not in the lineup. I'm like, okay, maybe, just maybe, he's not going to be in the lineup because this is a point of the game where maybe they'll just kind of take him out here for a little bit of a stretch, 1 or 2 minutes. They'll use another timeout, and then they'll bring him in. And then the broadcast said, yeah, he's not even on the sideline. So right out the gate there, you kind of felt like, all right, this is probably not good news for the Lakers. Obviously, probably not good news for LeBron. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to assume anything. I just know that watching Bron play as much as I have, and as everybody that's on this broadcast right now, everybody that's got a chance to watch LeBron over the years, yeah, he's not missing a Lakers-Celtics final 6 minutes of the game in the fourth quarter where the Lakers are making a little bit of run. He's not missing the game unless something happened. He's not missing the game unless he literally can't go. So that's going to be, I think, probably the biggest part of this conversation. It's going to have less to do with Lakers losing 1 game on the road against the Boston Celtics. I think the bigger news is going to be, hey, is Bron missing Brooklyn? Is he missing Milwaukee? Is he missing Denver? Is he missing some time strictly because he's not healthy enough to go? Okay, what kind of groin strain is this? Is it, there's certain levels of it. Okay, how severe is it? How bad is it? Is Bron going to be out for a couple of weeks? Whatever the case is, I think you guys know where I'm getting at here. The conversation will kind of shift a little bit here. The conversation is going to kind of fall a little bit more towards the health of LeBron and how he's feeling and everything else. So just right out of the gate, I did want to start off with that. And then when JJ Redick talks, we'll hear what he's got to say. Let's talk about the game. It's kind of weird. I thought the way the Lakers started off the game, I actually thought by the time the first quarter was done, it felt like the Lakers should be up by more. And it was a tie game. but I felt like the Lakers played good enough to be up. A couple loose balls, a couple tip outs, and Tatum would get a couple of threes. Jaylen Brown would get a bucket. And I'm like, it's a tie game at the end of the first quarter. It felt like the Lakers should have a lead at the end of the first quarter. Okay, by the time you got to halftime, horrible end for the Lakers. Boston being up by 4, it felt like Boston was up 9 or 10. That's how close the game was. And it felt like the Lakers pretty much had an advantage for the first 22 minutes of the game, 23 minutes of the game. They just didn't close out the second quarter. It didn't close out the half good enough. And Boston took the lead. And I'm sitting there at halftime like, I don't feel like Boston should be up by 4. If anything, Lakers should be up by 4. I remember telling myself, I'm like, all right, the start of this third quarter is going to be critical for the Lakers because one of two things is going to happen. Either Boston's going to take that 4-point lead and it's going to become 8 or 10, or Lakers are going to kind of let Boston know we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here all game. It's going to be a dogfight. This is just going to be one of those games that we'll muddy up the water and we'll go from there. We all know what happened in the third quarter. Lakers couldn't hit a bucket. And frankly, I think there are times that you look at it. There's two ways you can look at. Lakers scored 13 points in the third quarter. A lot of times teams will say, we just couldn't hit a shot. Rarely does it happen where it's like that team just locked us up. That's what happened in the third quarter of the Lakers. I give more credit to Boston than I take, than I put more blame on the Lakers. Boston was phenomenal in that third quarter, suffocating the Lakers defensively. Even if they did make a shot, it was a tough shot. Everybody had a hand in their face. I think there was a point in the broadcast, they said, of the 10 field goal attempts that the Lakers have taken in the third quarter, 8 of them were contested. Doesn't happen a lot in the NBA. In the NBA, you got a lot of lazy defense. In the NBA, you got a lot of players that they're not fighting the way that they should be fighting. I'm going to cut myself off here because we got JJ talking. Let's see if he's got anything on Bron and then his thoughts on the game. Take a quick listen here.
What were you able to do after that tough third quarter to kind of get back into the game? And what did you think Boston did in the third to take the lead like that?
Didn't like our general just pace. And a lot of people think pace is playing fast and up and down, but you got to have some thrust. And we didn't have any thrust in the half court. We missed 3 layups, missed all our catch and shoot threes. I think we were 1 for whatever we were in that quarter. Just, we weren't generating enough force to put any pressure on the rim and to get better looks. I think sometimes in these games, you never know what to chalk these things up to. But I think, start of an East Coast trip, some brain fog execution wise for us. It was a little out of character for us, and I think that contributed as well to that third quarter, where just we would call a play and we wouldn't actually run the play. We would drop an ATO. We would not have the right defender in the right spot. It was just out of character, and that got us stagnated.
JJ, it looked like when LeBron signaled for that timeout that he tried to stretch it out and give it a go. Did you get a sense for where he was at all during that?
No, I just assumed he was out for the game.
You've said before that, identities are fluid, and the way your team has played the last 10 games might not be the way that it has played the next 10. If he is unable to play for a little bit here, what has to happen for you guys to survive it?
I think we just have to continue to play hard and play defense. And frankly, I thought we defended well tonight. Missing Jackson and not being able to sort of have him roam off of Holiday, I think hurt a little bit with the rim protection. But we forced them into a lot of off the dribble jumpers after the first quarter. We wanted to limit their threes. They shot 38 threes. They averaged 48. Tatum and Brown, for those guys, they played 42 minutes and 46 minutes and both took over 25 shots. And we executed well defensively on a lot of things. We could clean some stuff up. We cleaned some stuff up in game. I thought our guys responded well, and we were able to get some stops and get back in the game.
JJ, to go back to the offense, you guys were clearly targeting Horford and Pritchard to some extent. Do you feel like the mismatch hunting at times kind of stagnated or led to too much ISO, or were you happy with the way?
No, I think the stagnation, we wanted to attack their bigs in space, and we wanted to attack their smalls and tight spaces. I don't think we did a good enough job of attacking their smalls and tight spaces. And that's what I mean from earlier, just about just some out of character things that I'm not sure what got lost in translation, but our guys have been great with that stuff. And frankly, Al Horford's awesome still. He still moves his feet and does a really good job defensively.
I get one
came in
more
after you began, so I apologize if you addressed this. But when you guys had cut it from 22 down to 7 or 9, when the timeout comes, the game is there for the taking. Obviously, LeBron can't return. Did you get to sense any of his, I guess, frustration in the moment, not being able to?
No.
Kind of.
No.
Okay.
No. I as soon as I saw him grab his groin and say it's my groin, I just moved on to the next thing. Not that I don't care. I do care, obviously, but I was trying to win a basketball game, and we'll work with him and Mike and figure out a course of action.
JJ, real quick. Sorry, one more. Just as far as Luca early in the game, it seemed like his rhythm wasn't totally there. Brown was really physical with him. How did you think he handled the pressure, and what was his adjustment kind of as the game went?
I thought as the game went on, he handled the pressure better. We made one adjustment, and that was just we wanted to set those ball screens up higher so he could attack more in space. I think getting some of those, empty side ISOs was good as well. He scored out of that. And then I think he was moving better for a stretch there, and able to get by, his primary, which was good.
All right, that's JJ Redick right there. He hit on a lot of things. It's funny. The PC just hit on Luca. Yeah, watching Luca in the beginning of that game, I hated it in the first half. Hated it. Jaylen Brown had his number. You had Luca kind of guessing. You had Luca trying to get too cute, trying to draw too many fouls, I'm like, Luca's completely out of his game. And I thought, listen, I know Jaylen Brown's credentials and his resume, and he's a finals MVP. No one could ever take that away from him. He's a baller. He's a stud. And, Boston, they can walk around with any swag that they want because they're the defending NBA champ. Nothing you can do about it. But I thought he gave him too much respect. Go at Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's not better than you. There's nobody that's going to go grab a draft and say, I'd rather have Jaylen Brown than Luca Doncic. And I thought Luca was too hunting for fouls, waiting for the whistle from a referee, indecisive in some of the moves that he wanted to do. He let Jaylen Brown play. If Jaylen Brown's going to play that aggressive and that tight on you, you put Jaylen Brown on skates, and Luca can do that. And however he gets there, I just thought he was way too hesitant to start that game for really the first 24 minutes, you can call it. And then you look at his stats by the time the game ended. Obviously Luca hit some big-time shots, and he was phenomenal by the time the dust settled. 34 points, 8 rebounds, just 3 assists in tonight's game. And it's smart from Boston to kind of try to take away those assists from him and just say, hey, we're going to put some of our best defenders on you, but we're not going to let you go throw 14, 15 dimes, 10 dimes, 12 dimes, whatever the case is. I thought their game plan was right. But in that first half, by the time the dust settled, by the time that first half was over, I did not like how Luca was playing Boston. And I felt like, clearly Luca is better than what we saw in that first half performance. However, he had a really good second half. And the other part of this that we're all going to have to figure out as well, what's going on with his health? Because he's clearly not comfortable. Something's clearly bothering him as well. And I think it's the lower back. They were saying they were showing him in warmups, kind of grimacing during warmups. There's a couple possessions during the game. He's grimacing as well. Maybe he's not going after Jaylen Brown and he's not ultra aggressive. And maybe Jaylen Brown is even more aggressive than he would be because he's also figuring, I don't think Luca's 100%. If Luca's not 100%, I'm going to take advantage of it. I mean, that's just what you do in sports. That's clearly what you do in the NBA. If somebody's hobbled, but they're still on the floor, teams are going to take advantage of that individual. They can take advantage of that person. So that was a piece that I thought was interesting. I love the comeback in the fourth quarter. Lakers did make it a game. And there was a moment there. I mean, Vando killed the Lakers on that corner three, the foul on Derek White. That was probably the game right there. A couple offensive rebounds come out. Jaylen Brown gets a three. Tatum got a three late. Jaylen Brown wasn't on an offensive rebound. It was him just kind of sizing up Luca and taking a tough shot. I mean, I'll live with Jaylen Brown taking a 25-footer. He was phenomenal for them tonight. But Lakers, they made it interesting. I mean, give them a lot of credit. I thought they made it interesting. They got it all the way down. It looked like there was Luca had such a good chance to get an and one to cut it down to 3, but he didn't hit the and one, got the 2 free throws. That got it to 4, and you're like, you got a ball game here. I think it was Dorian Finney-Smith that took a 3 that went in and out. But they fought the entire way. Like, I think tonight was how do I properly explain this? I'm not saying it's okay they lost to the Boston Celtics, but there's been so much hype on the Lakers right now. There's been so much positive energy around the Lakers right now. There's been so much attention to the Lakers right now. They've won 8 games in a row, 20-24. Losing against the defending NBA champs on March 8th sometimes can help you. Sometimes that could be like, okay, hey, that's the class of the NBA. That's the class of the league right there. And in order for us to potentially play them again down the road, which the only way that's going to happen is if the Lakers and the Celtics are in the NBA Finals, we're going to have to be better. We'll have to execute better. We'll have to do this. We'll have to do that. I mean, you're also missing Jackson Hayes and Rui Hachimura. Now, granted, they're missing Kristaps Porzingis as well. So maybe there's a wash there. You got 2 starters that are out, and obviously Porzingis is a big-time player for them. I don't think the world ended with a loss tonight. I thought there were some areas where you just kind of look and you say, you know what? Boston's just better. They got better defenders. They got better on-ball defenders. They got guys like Jason Tatum who could drop 40, 12, and 8 on you. They also got a guy like Jaylen Brown who could give you 31 and 6. So they got a ton of players and a ton of talent, and there's a reason why they're the defending champs. A couple minutes left in the game, this was still a ball game. It's not like the game was decided with literally 2-3 minutes left to go. Let's call it 3-4 minutes left to go in the game. You're still kind of, all right, well, Lakers are right there. They actually still have a shot to win this game. So there's a few different ways to look at it. Yeah, that 3 that Jaylen Brown hit was 99-95 with just over 4 minutes left to go. And then Tatum kind of put the dagger, about 2.5 left, hit the 3, and then basically called game there, and it took the lead up to 10. All right, let's do this. I'm going to keep an eye out here just to see if there's any interviews that come up, and if they do, I'm obviously going to go to them. With that in mind, let's take a quick look. Let's take a quick look at some of the commentary here. I appreciate you guys being part of the show, by the way. JJ's rotation suck. Jameson 5 minutes. AR hunted. Let me say this, Northborough, and I appreciate the super brother. They're gonna hunt. That's kind of what the NBA is today. They're gonna go for. I mean, how about early on? How quick they were going after Austin Reaves. I mean, they had decided, cool. I don't care who's guarding. If Austin Reaves, they're trying to hide him. That's the guy that we're using as a screen. And if it's Tatum or Jaylen Brown, we're going right after Austin Reaves. They did that in the beginning. That's just going to have to be something Lakers deal with. Because what are you going to do? You're going to put Austin Reaves on the bench? No. You need Austin Reaves in these games. Clearly, you need Austin Reaves in these games. That's not something that you have the luxury of saying, hey, there's 2 other guys that are sitting on the bench. The Lakers can play those guys. Now, when they get a little bit more depth, maybe there's some matchups that you're going to look at. Gabe Vincent clearly, has kind of found his way back into the rotation, has been better. So something to keep in mind there. Trey Jameson III, by the way, playing 6 minutes. I don't know if he played 12 minutes, Lakers win the game. Not really sure kind of if the angle is there that they win this game because Trey Jameson III is in there. I don't agree with that. I will tell you this. Damn, I like when Jordan Goodwin's getting some minutes. Tell you that much. Did he have a couple of mistakes here and there? Did he, he had a bad turnover, missed a layup at the end of the third quarter. Wasn't perfect, but You don't have to complain about effort with that guy. That guy's going to be providing the effort. All right, let's take a look at another comment here. Slee, AR, thank you, brother. I appreciate the super. Slee, my brother, this team has a character. We are not even full strength. They put a hell of a fight. JJ Technical, he's definitely the coach of the year. Yeah, I'm just starting to read the comment. So, frankly, I'm not 100% sure if most people are, obviously you want to win every game, but I can't tell if there are a lot of people out there that are saying to themselves right now, like, hey, it's all good. This really wasn't that bad of a loss. Or if there are a lot of people saying, what the hell happened? How did they lose this game? I'm not 100% sure how people feel, to be completely honest with you. But I don't think a lot of people should be walking away from this game and saying to themselves, well, Lakers are screwed. If you don't have LeBron James, you're screwed. You obviously got to have LBJ. He's got to be there. But hypothetically speaking, if he's good and he's healthy and he's back in a couple of games, a week, maybe 2 weeks max, something along those lines, then I don't think there should be too many Laker fans that are saying to themselves, this is the worst loss of the year or anything like that. Obviously, that's not the case. AR, thank you for the super, brother. He doesn't have to be coach of the year, but he does definitely need to be mentioned in the conversation. Let me mention this real quick about JJ. JJ was hallucinating on the bench. Loved every second of it. Loved it. He got the technical. Sometimes you see coaches and stylistically they got something in mind. Okay, maybe they're getting a technical foul because they just want to, get their team to fight a little bit. Maybe I thought he was trying to get himself thrown out of the game because he got the T. And usually when you get the T, it's like, all right, I got my technical. I got that out of my system. Let's move on. Oh, he kept barking at the refs. There's a baseline ref by the Lakers bench. That's not the one that gave him a tech, but he just shifted his attention. He's like, I'll bitch and complain to this referee. So I thought that was, stylistically. I mean, even JJ, watching him in that presser, he looks upset, looks angry, looks ticked off. I like that when your coach shows that kind of emotion. I don't think he's playing it off. I think that's exactly how he feels. Hey, thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate it. All right, Austin Reaves is talking. Let's take a quick listen. Here's Austin Reaves on the Lakers line.
You never want to see one of your brothers have to leave the game due to injury or whatever the case may be. Like JJ said, we don't know exactly what it is, but obviously, like I said, you never want to see anybody, go out. He's, a huge part of what we do. So hopefully we get, some good news and, he gets back quick.
A little different looks for you guys without Jackson and Rui, but you still go into halftime down 4 after they make their run. What did you see in that third quarter when things seemed to get out of sorts?
Just thought we were atrocious offensively. We scored 13 points. Yeah, 13 points, in any quarter is going to get you beat pretty bad in that specific quarter. But in the fourth, I thought we did a good job battling back. We got it to 4 a couple times and, had a couple, opportunities to, I think, win the game. And I think they made a couple really good plays and kind of just kept, that, lead at 7-10 and just couldn't, get over that hump quietly.
You mentioned there were some brain fog moments, out of character moments, specifically in that third where you guys scored 13. What were you seeing out there? You said it was atrocious offensively. What were you seeing out there just, I guess, that led to those moments?
I don't know. I had to watch the film. I just had to watch the film because if I knew, surely I would have helped us figure it out, and I didn't. And we just got to be better.
You guys have had your resiliency tested a bunch of times this year through a bunch of wild curveballs. How have you thought about this group's adaptability in general, and what's it going to require on that front to weather however long it runs out?
Yeah, it's a next man up mentality. Like you said, we've had many situations where a player deals with some type of injury or the trade or whatever it is, and we've done a really good job of bouncing back. and I don't expect anything else. Like I said, it's a next man up mentality. Not one person's gonna, do what Bron does for us, but you can do it as a collective. And like I said, hopefully he gets back out on the court soon.
Were you guys able to check in with LeBron after the game at all? And how was his demeanor? If so,
He was sitting over there icing. Asked him if he was okay. He said, they don't know really anything so fast after the game. It's impossible to have an exact, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, good word. So, his demeanor was good. He's always a professional.
Austin Reaves calling.
All right. Gotta be honest with everybody. I don't know. I don't really have a good feeling about that. Yeah, I don't really have a good feeling. I'll just say this, and I said this earlier. If Bron ain't leaving a game, a nationally televised game against the Boston Celtics early unless something's going on, right? Like, I think we could all understand that. He's not leaving a game unless he's not feeling like LeBron James. The one thing I will say, and I think, something that Austin Reaves hit on there, it's one of the traits that I respect more than anything else about this Lakers team. The trait I respect most is no matter what's been thrown at the Lakers this year, no matter what the lineup has looked like, no matter who's got traded, no matter what's happened, they still find ways to figure it out. And I think a lot of teams say, and coaches say, next man up mentality, and it's more words. No, for the Lakers, it's been like, no, that's exactly what they've been doing. Exactly what they've been doing. So something to keep in mind as we continue to go here. John Wayne, they should have gotten blown out worse. No gifted memberships tonight. That's right. John, I think, called the loss and said if they did win, he would be gifting X amount of memberships over. Luca came with a calf injury, and now his back is strained from carrying LeBron. John, man, you're not a Bron fan, bro. It's all good. You don't have to be a Bron fan. I appreciate the super. I appreciate you being on the chat. Now, you didn't gift memberships. That's okay. Ankh has gifted 10 MVP memberships to the channel. My brother, I appreciate that very much. Thank you for doing that. It means 10 people on here are going to get a chance to be members here for 30 days. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a members-only video coming out first, and then eventually I'll put it out to the public as well. But thank you for supporting the channel, my brother. I really appreciate it. If you guys would like to be members, there's a link that I just put in the chat. You can feel free to be a member as well. I want to go, Ankh, thank you again, man. 10 memberships. That's incredibly kind of you. I'm going to try to go to the beginning of the chat so I could just see what people were saying from the beginning. And I want to see what some of the people were saying. Lakers will be okay. Everyone is healthy. That's going to be the question. You just got to have, you got to be healthy. Here comes the sky is falling fake fans. I don't think sky is falling. I hope that's not the vibe of the chat tonight, because it shouldn't be that. I think there's actually a lot of things you could walk away encouraged from. But at the same time, I think it's more the health part that could be the sky is falling. All right, got some people on here. I don't want to hear any excuses. Boston can stop Luca. They did it last year in the finals. Hey, this is going to be, let me tell you how this works for Luca Doncic. This is my experience as somebody that's been watching Lakers my entire life and have been covering the team for closing in on 9 years now. And I'm talking about 9 years just behind a mic. Even before that, obviously I was a part of a 710 for a number of years. This is how it works for Laker fans. They got Luca. Oh my God. Amazing. Amazing. Oh my God. I can't believe it. 3 games goes by. I can't believe this guy's a Laker. You see him in a Laker jersey. 7 games goes by. This is unbelievable. Look at him. He wins at Denver. This guy's he's the next Laker legend. 10 games goes by, 12 games, all that, right? All that stuff happens. And then Laker fans, this is what happens. Luka, you got to be better than that. That's how I started my post-game show. I started it talking about the first half. Yeah, Luka, you got to be better. Yeah, that's not good enough. Hey, Luca, does Boston have your number? I mean, I just kind of comes with the territory. Comes with the territory. It's not a bad thing. I think it's actually a good thing when you got expectations like that. Yep, this is the one on the LeBron injury. Guys, I literally went to the beginning of the chat just to kind of take a look at how people thought right after the game. I kind of get into my stuff, and there's a lot of times the chat has a lot of good comments. I don't have a chance to see them. Luca had a bad game. Lakers lost because of their offense. Also lost because of Boston's defense. Austin Reaves needs to wake the F up. We had a chance to win the game, down only 4 points with 4 minutes to go, and then LeBron went out. I think LeBron went out probably closer to 6 minutes. But, yeah, if you'd have told me by the time the fourth quarter started, Lakers still have a chance to win that game, I'd be like, yeah, you're crazy. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. They did have a chance. I mean, was it an outside shot? Sure, it was an outside shot. But at the same time, they were still in a position that 20 plus deficit could have turned to 25, could have turned to 30, and that team could have just gave up. So one thing I'll give that coaching staff, they don't let them give up. There's definitely a lot of fight from this team. There's definitely a lot of, all right, we'll try to figure it out. There's a lot of that. And that part, I think you really got to respect. Slee, I love the team's resilience. Is Luca healthy? He didn't look healthy. He really didn't. He didn't. I got a few of these. Luca looked hobbled. What's going to be interesting for the Lakers is as we Goodwin pulled that BS twice. Maybe it's the turnovers they're talking about. I'd sit the entire starting lineup versus Brooklyn. Okay, let's get to this. All right. Somebody saying LeBron talking. LeBron's not on yet on mine, which is probably a little bit delayed. All right, perfect. Let's get to LeBron right now.
Much concern. Obviously, we day to day look at it each day, see if it gets better, and then take the proper measurements and see what we need to do going forward.
Just what's the process for you mentally over the years? When you have something happen like that, and do you wait to get imaging back, or do you kind of have a certain feel?
I don't know. Sit down and write with Mike and figure out what the best case scenario, best case of plan is going forward.
You walk away from this game feeling confident that you guys can compete with these guys. You see them down the road.
We can compete versus anyone in this league, so we'll be fine. We got to continue to build our habits, though. We're not where they are. It's a defending champion, and they've been playing basketball together for a long time, and they got a great chemistry and know what they want to do. We made an acquisition late in the season that we're still trying to build, and we want to get full. That's the number one objective for us, how we can get full and get all our guys together and see exactly what we look like. So, but we feel like we compete versus anybody.
Can you point to a play or sequence that caused the?
Yeah, it was the last play. The last score I had spun on Jaylen Brown. For me, they extended it a little bit too much. A couple pivots, and then when I landed, I felt it. So that was the last play I scored on.
And it's something you managed since your basically first season in LA. Is it something that you had been actively dealing with before tonight?
No, it just happened.
Look at that timeout. Like, you spent the whole timeout stretching, like trying to see if there was a way. What was kind of going through your mind during that process, and how frustrating was it, that walk from the corner?
The first thing that popped in my mind was Christmas Day, my first year with the Lakers. The first thing that popped in my mind, I've been there before, and I know what type of injury you're dealing with. Second thing I thought about was AD. It's crazy, but I thought about AD. And then I'm over there just trying to see how much mobility and see if I can possibly give it a go. And then I came back here and did a couple of stretches and a couple of things that ultimately knew that I was probably going to be done for the rest of the night. So
You said to Mike that it's gonna be hopefully something you're not too concerned in his day to day. That Christmas Day injury was was a serious situation. Are you confident this isn't as bad?
No, it's not as bad as that. It's not as bad as that.
LeBron, obviously, you do a lot. So even if it's the short term, the next couple of games, like what are the things that you think the team has to try to account for to keep winning games when you're out?
Oh, it doesn't matter who's in the lineup. We have to play our game. We've had guys in and out of the lineup for the majority of the year. And then, we've had guys in and out of the lineup over the last 6 weeks, and we've been playing great ball. So nothing changes.
When you're in the back here, stretching out, are you watching the game?
Yeah, I watched.
And what was it like, kind of seeing the team get to 4? How frustrating was it?
Very frustrating. Yeah. When I got back here, I looked at the score. It was 90. Like that's the moments you live for, especially in a game like this, and not being out there. So, but I was cheering on the guys while I was back here.
Please continue with the team on the trip.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, we'll see what happens the next few days, and then go from there.
Thanks, LJ.
Thanks.
All right, I'm going to read a tweet here. By the way, I appreciate everybody on the chat, man. You guys freaking got my back here. I got people saying, "Hey, Slee, Bron's talking." Cool. I go right here. Got somebody else that's telling me, "Hey, go check McMenamin's tweet." Here's McMenamin's tweet. It's too early to project an accurate timetable for how long LeBron James could miss because of his left groin injury, sources told ESPN. However, one source said the initial thought is that it will sideline James for a matter of weeks, not a matter of days. All right. Well, here's the good news is it's March 8th. So the good news is playoffs don't start for about 5 weeks. And just being honest, right? Like, that's the good news. I think if I'm looking here, look at the schedule here real quick. The problem is Lakers got a really tough schedule. And, how much does this affect them for holding on to, having a chance at that number 2 seed or making sure that they're in the top 4 or something along those lines? That could definitely be affected. Lakers' final game of the regular season is April 13th. Sunday, April 13th is the final regular season game of the season. Regular season game. So playoffs wouldn't start until April 19th and 20th is when the playoffs will start. You got a solid 5 weeks. So the good news is for LeBron and the Lakers, if we just go off of that tweet from Dave McMenamin and that the sources that told him that this would sideline James for a matter of weeks, not a matter of days, then at least that's the initial thought. Then that means, obviously he's going to miss some time. He's going to miss some time. Not only is he going to miss time, but I'm going to go back to what I was saying a little bit earlier. I think just as important as missing time, it's where are you in the standings? That's the piece that the Lakers are going to have to figure out. Now, I will say, and I'll continue saying this, this team has found ways to win under every circumstance that you could think of. Every circumstance. They have found ways to win with players, without players, before the trade deadline, after the trade deadline. I mean, the latest now, remember Austin Reaves was out, Rui was out, now Jackson Hayes. That's just the last week. Vando missed a big part of the season. There's clearly a lot that can happen between now and then. I think this is an interesting comment. I'm perfectly fine with LeBron resting until April. In a weird way, and I thought about this as well. In a weird way, one of the things that I thought of as everything was going on, I thought in my head, I'm like, you know what? Listen, if LeBron missed 2 weeks, he's 40 years old, get his body right. There's going to be other guys that are clearly going to have to step up. What you don't want to see is just this cratering in the standings. Obviously, you don't want to see that. That's how key LeBron is. But if they can hold their own and LeBron just gets a couple weeks off before the playoffs start, and then you get a full week off right when the regular season is done, yeah, that might not be the worst thing, but obviously in this scenario, this isn't Bron picking and choosing. He would just have no choice. Bron will be back. I'm not worried about Bron not coming back April 19th. What I'm talking about is, okay, if he misses 2 weeks, you're around, let's call it March 22nd, March 23rd. What happened in the standings? How many games did you win? How many games did you lose? Obviously that has a lot to do with it. All right, let's see some more of these comments. All right, let's see what we got here. We aren't holding on with the current schedule back-to-back versus Denver and Milwaukee. Yeah, I mean, the good news is Denver's got OKC tomorrow as well, so that's a tough game for them. They're going to be on the road for that one. I think they're on the road for that one. So, other teams got to win as well. If LeBron misses Brooklyn game in Brooklyn, no problem. Big picture, rest LeBron, hopefully back for the playoffs. Reaves with some Darvinish ham. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I mean, I want to say I'd be curious just seeing Luca be Luca, but Luca didn't look healthy tonight either. He didn't look healthy tonight either. Somebody had a comment here. George, I think Lakers will finish anywhere from 2nd to 5th. You might be right on that one. 2nd to 5th. You might be right on that one. Yeah, that has, in my opinion, it's games like these games you got coming up. I think I was telling everybody because of what was going on in the standings. You had Houston losing a lot of games. Memphis has been struggling. I'm like, they're good. They don't got to worry about. They're not falling to 5. They're going to have home court in the first round. The question is going to be, do they have home court for the first 2 rounds? And now with the loss, Denver jumps back up in front of them. We'll see what happens with them against OKC. And then Houston's won a couple in a row. Memphis won their last one. There's still a little bit of a cushion there. So we'll see what happens there. All right, we all need the Oklahoma City Thunder to handle some business tomorrow. Is that fair to say? Need Thunder to come out with a win tomorrow. All right, shout out to the Wallace Firm here. This is our main partner on the channel, and I'm very, very appreciative of the partner. It's kind of a cool way, the way this partnership started. This is somebody that I've known for about 5 years, has become a really good friend of mine, somebody that I certainly trust in the business. He's given me some great advice on the channel, on being a business owner. He supported me when I was on 710 ESPN, and now here he is following me on YouTube as well. I hope you don't need him, but things happen in life. If you or someone you know was in a serious injury, you should reach out to Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Let him walk you and your family through your legal options. I'm sure it's a very intimidating and daunting process. Got to let an expert in the field help you, and certainly him and his team, they're all experts. You can help anybody in the state of California, so I want you to keep that in mind. For me, as an injury attorney, having this, I guess you can call it this industry, but specifically him, a part of the channel, things happen in life, and I hope they don't happen to you, but if it does, I got a special URL here that we created, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. You can get a free consultation, wallacewins.com/Sliwa, get a free consultation, or I'm happy to make myself available. If you want an email introduction to Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm and his team, I can do that as well. Again, wallacewins.com/Sliwa, and thank you to Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm for being just a phenomenal partner and being a part of this show. All right, let's keep things moving here. I want to get to a couple more comments here. We'll see if Luca talks. Luca's talking right now. Let's get to Luca.
I don't want to lose it. That's what happens. So obviously it comes to mind sometimes.
Luca, what did you make of your first kind of taste of Lakers Celtics and the atmosphere? What did you think of it?
Oh, it was great atmosphere. Love playing in those atmospheres. Gets you going, gets you hyped. But we know that Boston's very loud all the time. So it's like I say, it's always tough to play here. But it's fun for me. It's very fun.
It seemed like you guys handled their physicality a little better, particularly late third quarter on through the fourth. What was the adjustment that you guys made in that? And I guess what are you going to need to do? I would imagine if LeBron's out for a little bit, there's going to be more of this kind of headed your guys' way. What do you guys need to do to handle it better?
Yeah, I think in the first half, especially me, I feel like I didn't play to my level. So I think third quarter a little bit, fourth quarter more. We're just playing our game the way we play. We didn't look at what they were doing, just playing our game. And with LeBron out, I don't know how much time that. Like I said before, we gotta have next man up mentality. Injuries happen throughout the season. Just gotta be next man up.
Luca, en el último cuarto era obvio que tenías mucho dolor. ¿Cómo haces para mantenerte jugando a pesar?
All right, I'm going to stop it there. I won't be able to understand anything. So apologize, guys. I won't be able to help there. Okay, so, a few more things here. We'll get into a couple more comments, and then we'll call it a day here. I thought Luca, like I mentioned, I thought first half, not impressed at all. I don't think Luca was asserting himself as, hey, I'm the best player on the floor here. I don't care if Tatum's here. I don't care if Brown's here. And I don't care if LeBron's here. I didn't have that feeling at all. I think Boston also has a lot of, because they played him in the NBA Finals, they kind of know how to play him. They know how to guard him. They know how to try to push him around or play really up on him. Stylistically, they obviously know what they're doing on Luca. It's going to be up to Luca now and the Lakers to obviously adjust to that. Now, unless the Lakers and the Celtics make the NBA Finals, it's kind of a moot point. They're not going to see each other until next year. But I think for the Lakers, you really don't have to worry about Boston anymore. Getting out of the Western Conference is obviously your goal. Getting out of finishing the regular season, getting your guys healthy, worrying about the first round, worrying about the second round if you're there, trying to get to the Western Conference Finals. There are so many steps before worrying about just the Boston Celtics, but tonight had some moments where, you're just looking at Boston. And listen, I said this from the beginning. They got a cockiness and an arrogance to them. And you want to say, oh, come on. What have you guys done lately? Yeah, they're the defending NBA champions. Jaylen Brown is the reigning finals MVP. Tatum is obviously one of the best players in the world. Joe Mazzulla is a really good coach. The Celtics they're set up, and they're set up for a while. So I think right now, and I said this, I think yesterday when I was doing my show, the Sliwa show, said something to the effect of, at the end of the day, everybody's got to go through the Celtics, period. And whether people believe that on this chat or they don't, but when you're the defending champs, everybody's chasing you. And it's not like the Celtics didn't bring back virtually the exact same team. So that cockiness that they have, they're allowed to have it, but damn, is it annoying. Like somebody freaking beat these guys. But that's what comes with the territory. If you win, you could say whatever you want. You could do whatever you want. All right, let's see. Get a little check out Instagram real quick here. Slee, thoughts this could be a good thing for him to rest. Not sure how negative the impact of them falling a few spots. Well, I can tell you this. I know without a healthy LeBron going into the playoffs, there is no playoff run. There isn't. So if they do fall in the standings because Bron is out for a couple of weeks and they just didn't have enough talent to beat some of these teams in front of them, then you kind of just deal with it. Here's the good news for the Lakers. If you do look at the standings, they have in the loss column, a 7-game cushion on the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Clippers of where that play-in tournament is. So no matter what happens to the Lakers, we know they're not going to play in the play-in tournament. I mean, unless it's a colossal collapse. I don't think that's going to happen. I'll tell you right now, it's not going to happen. And they got a cushion here in the West either way. The top 5 here, they got a 3-game cushion on the Rockets. They got a 6-game cushion on where the Warriors are. So really, I think it's just kind of fighting for those 2 through 5. And the Lakers will still win some games here. It's not like they won't win without LeBron. I'm telling you, there is this next man up mentality that is kind of followed the Lakers so far this year. All right, that's Carson 2018 on Instagram. So thank you for watching, buddy. Crazy part is our schedule doesn't get any easier. That's Velvet11 on Instagram. Yeah, here's the rest of your road trip here if you guys just want that. Brooklyn on Monday, 2 days off. Thursday and Friday, you got Milwaukee and you got Denver. So that gives you a little bit of idea what the Lakers got over these next couple of games. Then Phoenix, San Antonio, Denver, Milwaukee, and Chicago all at home. Then on the road, back on the East Coast. They're cramming a lot of games here in a short amount of time. Take a quick listen here. Vando's talking. Get his thoughts on the game.
But yeah, we kept our composure, kept fighting, and just tried to get the win for him.
As you guys await news on how long he'll be out, if that's the case, what do you have to do to try to kind of continue what you've been building up to this point, nonetheless?
Just keep building. We've been having guys in and out of the lineup, all year, and we've been having, JJ been saying the next man mentality, man. So hopefully, he's fine and we'll be able to. But obviously, we got a guy like him, you wouldn't be able to replace him with one person, it'd be collectively. So we tried to do it in the game, collectively put our efforts together to, try to get a win.
Boston does a lot of switching. What were you seeing offensively in that third quarter when things weren't clicking?
We just got stagnant. We allowed them to, push out of our spots and allowed us to be stagnant by switching everything and kind of just mucking everything up for us. So we got to do better when it comes to still getting into our sets, picking up the pace. I think our pace kind of slowed down in that third quarter. So, yeah, just keeping great pace in the midst of them, trying to be physical and muck stuff up.
How did you feel like you guys adjusted to that over the course of the game, their physicality?
I think it was good. We like you said, even in that fourth quarter, I feel like we made a good run. We adjusted. Ultimately, I just think we didn't make a lot of shots. A lot of shots that I know we were capable of making. We missed a couple bunnies down the line, down the stretch too as well. So, I think we responded well in that fourth quarter.
What's the belief level in this room, like based on what you said before, if LeBron is missing time, that you guys have enough?
The belief is high, always. Like I said, with a guy like him, if he does miss time, the only way you can replace him is collectively. So like I said, the next couple guys got to step up and fill that void until he gets back. Hopefully he doesn't miss any time, but yeah, like I said, it'll be a collective effort.
All right, that's Vando right there. So, listen, it's very common for every reporter out here to be talking about, obviously, if Bron is out, how long is he out for? How's it going to affect the team? What do you do? And the responses, honestly, are all the same, too. We got to do it collectively. You got to do it as a team. And that's kind of been the theme, what the Lakers have done all year. I got to give a shout out here real quick. Unk gifted out 10 memberships. AR gifted out, I think it's 6 memberships because he got one here and then he's got another one here. So gifted out 5 here. Thank you guys. Fellas, I appreciate it. Hopefully there's some people here in the chat that can take advantage of that, and I'll put out a members-only video tomorrow. Eventually, members will get it first, and eventually the public will get it as well. But I appreciate that. It's a great way to support the channel. It's $3 a month. If you guys are in a position to do that, I greatly appreciate that. All right, let's get a few more comments in here, and then we'll call it a day as well. Northborough AS, we needed a 5 to match Horford, not Braun Vando. Really small, bad rotations. Braun, Gabe, Vando, Jameson the third. DFS should have been tried. I will tell you this, and this is just kind of, we talked about the roster, and they've been playing so well that whatever flaws they have, you just don't even pay attention to. Reaves missed games. I forgot Reaves wasn't on the floor. Like that's really how good that they've been playing. Eventually teams are going to obviously adjust. Boston's the best team in the league. So I think, to be honest, I don't think you got to really worry about the Boston Celtics. I think what you got to worry about is just getting through the regular season. Because come playoff time, whoever that matchup's going to be and whatever it's going to look like in the first round, all right, well, they're not going to be as good as the Boston Celtics. They're just not. Doesn't mean that, Lakers can't eventually play Boston in the NBA Finals, but worry about that down the road. There's no reason to worry about that with tonight's game. I thought tonight's game, you just kind of you almost wish you had another shot against Boston just to make some adjustments and see how the Lakers would play against them. But Boston's the elite of the elite. All right, let's get a couple more in here. If a trainer says, LeBron, you can't play, that would be terrible. I think Bron probably knows his body better than anybody else. And, at the end of the day, we'll eventually see Bron back. It's just going to be a matter of how much time until we do. All right, let's see what we got here. Best case scenario, LeBron out 3 weeks. Worst case, 6. We'll see what they say. It's funny. They asked, are you going to be, I think it was McMiniman that asked, hey, are you staying for the rest of the road trip? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm staying. And then he kind of paused and he was like, yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, frankly, if he's not going to be playing these games, any of these next 3 games, fly home and start getting treatment. And the Lakers, after they're done with this road trip this week, they're home for 1 full week. I mean, basically, I guess he can try to target if it's going the way we're talking about. If he doesn't think he can stay, if he doesn't think he's going to play in these next few games and then decides, okay, I'm just going to go fly home, he could technically be home all the way until Sunday, March 23rd, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow, because that's when Lakers would fly to Orlando to get ready to take on the Magic. Look at us all being doctors in here. All of us saying, here's what LeBron should do. The guy's probably got the cream of the crop when it comes to obviously health and all the different doctors that are around him. George, Luca, back injury. Thanks, Alan, reading my comments. Yeah, that part worries me just as much. That part, it's like, okay, let's just assume Luca was 100% healthy. I'd have some curiosity to see what Luca would look like a little bit on his own here, kind of set everybody else up and let Luca just kind of cook. The problem is he doesn't look healthy either. Let's get some more comments here. Boston came out pissed in the third, and we didn't. Yeah, we just kind of had I don't even know if it was that. It just was bad basketball from the Lakers and really, really good defense from Boston. It was just a bad portion of the game to have a bad stretch. And then next thing you look at, I'm like, Lakers have been basically sitting around 54, 56 points, it felt like, for 6-8 minutes, something like that. Hope we beat Brooklyn. They don't really kind of have a choice, to be honest with you. They have to beat Brooklyn. All right, let's see what else we got here. You can analyze it any way you want, but they missed shots and the Celtics played better defense than the Lakers. Celtics were better. I don't think anybody's arguing that. But with that said, let me just say this. 4 minutes left to go in the game, and it's a 4-point game. They were still in the game, too. I think that part to me, you got to give the Lakers credit for. Okay, they didn't play well. All right, Boston was balling. Tatum dropped 40. Jaylen Brown had over 30. With all that said, 4 minutes left to go in the game. It's a 4-point game. And Bron wasn't in the game for a couple of those minutes and then obviously missed the rest of the game after that. All right, a few more of these here. Jackson Hayes has been the #1 defensive center in the league since mid-January. You're right about that, Mitch. I know you've pointed that out before. You're saying missing him meant nothing? Come on. All right, I'm assuming here you're talking about somebody else in the comments, because I did not say that. I know what I did say is they were missing him and Rui Hachimura, but on the other side, they're missing Porzingis as well. I mean, let's not pretend like Kristaps Porzingis is not a. They have 5 really important key players. Porzingis is one of them. You can rank those players wherever you want. Tatum, Brown, and then however you want to put the other 3. Horford was actually really good for them tonight. Horford was really, really good for them tonight. It was a little surprising. They have a big lead over the Clippers, Timberwolves, Kings, Mavericks. Still 3 up, lost column over the Rockets. Yeah, they got, listen, they built themselves a little bit of a cushion here. No question about they built themselves a little bit of a cushion here. They got work to do. All right. My people, I think we are good. I think we're good. Trying to get to an hour. We're at an hour. Okay, let me give everyone just a quick idea what we got going on here the next couple of days. So Celtics obviously over the Lakers 111-101. I don't think it's the end of the world. There's some positives, there's some negatives, but really the storyline tonight is more to do with when's Bron coming back. Tomorrow I'll be putting out a video. I'll kind of be game planning on just putting together a show. I like doing that one of the 2 days over the weekend, having a video aside from a post-game show. So I'll be doing that. It will go out to members first. If you want to be a member, you can get that content first, but we'll go out to members first. Eventually I will put it out to the public. I'll be back on Monday morning as well, starting at 8 a.m. Sammy should get a preview video up tomorrow for Lakers Brooklyn, since that game's going to be on Monday. So hopefully that just kind of sets everybody up what we got going on for the next couple of days. Thank you for being a part of the show. I asked you guys to subscribe to get over 31,000. We got over 31,000 yesterday. So thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Celtics over the Lakers. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday night. Keep an eye out for a couple of videos tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.